I divorced my ex-husband when my daughter Maria was a tween. I got the house but was a stay-at-home mom, so I had trouble making ends meet. So I did lots of budgeting after I got a job in my field again. My ex didn't have this problem and could spoil her. He spoiled her rotten and it really affected our relationship. I would tell her I can't afford to get her $1,000 laptop, and it would cause a huge argument about how dad is better. If I tried to get her a job, an argument happened. When she was nearly an adult, she decided to drop out of high school. I told her no. She told me it was her life and she could do what she wanted. After another argument, she left to live with her dad permanently. I tried to contact her multiple times, but she told me I wasn't her mother anymore and to leave her alone. She's now 21 and her dad has gotten remarried and kicked her out. She called me and we met up. She wants to move back in and I told her only under these conditions. She needs to get her GED. She needs to be working a job at least 25 plus hours a week. She needs to look into what her career will be and either go to a trade school or college. She won't need to pay rent but needs to buy her own stuff like clothes and personal items. She needs to contribute to the shared areas. Chores, she would refuse to do them as a kid. Finally, a no partying lifestyle. She needs to focus on getting her life together, not going out every other night like she used to do. Save it for the weekend. She called me a crazy jerk and said that I'm a crap mother. I informed her that she made it clear she had no mother. She stormed out and I'm getting texts. Am I the idiot for telling my daughter that she made it clear she has no mother, then for having a long list of things she must do to move back in? Not the idiot. Those are completely reasonable requests. Beyond reasonable even. You wouldn't be out of line to ask for bills or contributions to household expenses. She's right, it's her life and she can live it how she wants. That means she needs to find a way to pay for it. She can't live off her parents for her whole life. It sounds like she was getting a free ride from dad and now that's gone, she's learning the hard way what actual adulting looks like. The partying lifestyle thing is the only one close to being a line, but again, your house, your rules. It's entirely fair for you not to want your roommate coming home intoxicated at 2 a.m. every morning and being loud and disruptive. If she wants to go out every night, let her find her own place or roommates who are into that. I noticed that an apology isn't at the top of the list. Her dad spoiled her. Now he's off to other things. Her reaction to your requirement indicates that she doesn't want a relationship. She's looking to mooch off of you and make your life a nightmare again. Don't block her, but do ignore her text. That kind of behavior doesn't deserve a response. This completely. The only reason she's back is because she's been kicked out. She doesn't want to rebuild a relationship with her mother. She's just been spoiled to the point where she can't cope independently and needs someone to pick up where her dad's left off. And I'm willing to bet dad only spoiled her so she'd give mom crap daily over little crap, which appears to have worked. Now dad's bored of it and wants to move on to his next thing without the burden of his bratty child that he knows full well will interfere with his new relationship. Correction. His new wife is not down with daddy's party girl. Daughter got shipped back to mommy because if not, then daddy ain't getting any. The daughter is 21 with no GED, job or future. She can figure out her living situation or abide by your very reasonable rules. She got her free ride as a kid and wasted it. Now it's time to join the real world. Good luck to her finding a better offer. Mini update. Thanks for your replies. The new wife hates her and has literally called her a waste of space. She clarified that she won't be in the home since she's a bad influence and a drain of money. I don't blame her for that opinion. Originally, I was going to help my son with his girlfriend Sammy, 19, for their wedding, giving them money because both work at a restaurant for minimum wage. So far, my relationship with Sammy has been okay, but I notice she has a habit of buying clothes outside of her means. I see her with those YSL bags and she wears Golden Goose sneakers. Wedding dress shopping was a nightmare when she insisted on a $10,000 dress while I went out with her mother and the bridesmaids. I asked her, doesn't that seem excessive for the small wedding you're having? And she said she could afford the dress she wanted since I was paying for the wedding. Her getting a $10,000 dress defeats my whole purpose of paying for the wedding because I didn't want my son to be in a boatload of debt. It started as an argument with her mother about how her daughter is a princess, and I said no, her daughter works at Chili's and doesn't even have a high school education, while my son has been taking classes at community college, so he doesn't take out a dreaded student loan. I also pay for that. Everyone was extremely angry with me after that, and I told my son I no longer support his marriage and I would take the wedding funds for his education, but please don't marry Sammy. He hasn't been talking to me, saying he loves her, and it was really awful of me to withdraw money from the wedding because Sammy and her mom put the down payment on the dress on Sammy's mom's credit card. As of right now, if I don't help with the wedding, I'm not invited if I don't help with paying it. My son is acting stupid about the whole thing, and I don't know how to talk some sense into him without being an even bigger idiot. Not the idiot, and my favorite response to "my daughter is a princess" is now "your daughter works at Chili's." If she's a real princess, then she should have some substantial opinions on infrastructure and how to stimulate the economic growth of her kingdom without immediately resorting to waging war on neighboring kingdoms. A $10,000 dress? Yikes! I'm flabbergasted. You are a couple, both work as servers, and you think spending $10,000 on a dress is smart? Wouldn't it make more sense to tie the knot at City Hall and ask OP to host a brunch for immediate family? But I'm also amazed at the sheer nerve of daughter-in-law's mom to say her daughter is a princess and deserves that dress. Okay, cool. Then daughter-in-law's mom should pay for it. A teenager working minimum wage should not be getting married, and definitely not in a $10,000 dress. This marriage has disaster written all over it. OP, you've worked hard to teach your son to be financially responsible, and he's marrying a child who has zero intention of living within her means. Her mother has enabled her to believe that someone else is responsible for providing everything she wants. Unfortunately, your son is young and blinded by love. The only thing you can do is continue to invest in him and his education. Talk to him about their short and intermediate plans. How do they plan on supporting themselves? Will he move into her mom's house while he finishes school, or will he drop out of college to earn enough to feed them? You might consider giving him or them a financial planning course and a round of premarital counseling. Money is the second most commonly cited reason for divorce. The first is infidelity, and your future daughter-in-law sounds ripe for cheating with someone better off than your son. I, female 39, have a very insecure daughter, a young teen, who has a depressingly unhealthy obsession with her looks. She often avoids mirrors and pictures because her mood instantly drains when she sees herself. She constantly asks her father and me if we think she's pretty, and we always tell her the same thing, that she's a beautiful girl inside and out. As I understand how most teenage girls are with their body image, as I was at one point myself, my daughter's vanity is not only becoming exhausting to those around her, but I fear is causing her to lose herself slowly. Yesterday, I decided to sit her down to chat about this, discuss what's bothering her, and see if she's willing to visit a therapist. She told me she didn't want to talk about it, but as her mother, of course, I was going to be worried about her, so I insisted. She finally agreed. A few minutes into this conversation, she asked, "Mom, I want you to be completely honest with me. That means no sugarcoating. The kids at my school think I'm ugly and say I look like a bird because I have a big nose. Do you really think I'm beautiful, or are you just lying?" I'm an honest person, so I gave her the most honest answer I had. I told her she was average looking like most people in the world are, and that having an average appearance is not so bad. She immediately got up, left without saying a word, and just went into her room for the rest of the night. Today she's been cold and distant, and I think I upset her, which wasn't my intention at all. Am I the idiot? Of course you are the idiot. I'm an honest person is a weird reason to sit a child down and essentially confirm, in her mind, that you're a liar and she's as ugly as the other kids say she is. Look, this isn't one of your girlfriends asking you for your honest opinion on whether she could be a supermodel. It's not even your kid asking if you think he's smart enough to get into Yale. This is your child asking if you think she's beautiful while she's being bullied for being ugly to the point where she can't look in a mirror. Mom, am I pretty? Sweetie, you're average like most of the ugly people of the world are. Help, my daughter won't talk to me. Why? Info, what are you going to do now that you know she's being bullied? Bullied so badly that she literally avoids mirrors and is clearly depressed. Considering OP just confirmed in her daughter's mind everything the bullies have been saying, I'm not sure she should do anything else. She thought this was helping. I'm scared to find out what else she should do under the guise of helping. I feel bad for this poor girl because, in her eyes, her mom has been lying to her and is now one of the bullies. Every kid should be beautiful in their parents' eyes, as they deserve to know it daily. I got called ugly all through high school. I don't know how I would feel if my mom called my response vanity. I used to look in mirrors and try to figure out how I could be less ugly. I still think I'm ugly. It's not vanity, it's distressing. Don't know what I would have done if my mom called me average. Maybe never leave the house again. What is it with parents thinking it's okay to tell their kids they're not attractive? We all know how many relatives exaggerate how brilliant and charming and attractive we are. We take it with a pinch of salt. But if we ask, we're asking because we know we'll get that answer. We need affirmation. You know she's insecure, so why make her more insecure? You're not a therapist. Don't try to be. Be a mum. I, 56 female, have twin daughters, Ava and Susie, 25, with my husband, 57. Ava and Susie have always been complete opposites, but they were best friends just before they moved away for college. Ava got into one of the best schools in the country and moved across the country for it, and Susie got into a good school but not as great as the one Ava got into. And this is where the problems began. Susie started making digs at Ava and making jokes that the college only accepted her for diversity reasons. Ava wouldn't let Susie say mean things about her without fighting back, so it was an entire summer of fighting and hostility in our household, no matter what my husband and I did to try to solve it. Susie's situation at college wasn't great. She got into hard sugar in college and was expelled in her second year for doing them on campus. She had to move back home and go to rehab. Rehab failed a lot of times, but we didn't give up on her. Ava would return home several times a year to see and support her sister. We were doing whatever we could to help Susie get her life back on track. Last year was the first time Susie's rehab actually worked for months after she finished the treatment, and she even got a part-time job. Things were and still are looking promising. She hasn't gone back to sugar and she's now working 30-ish hours a week. She's exercising and writing poetry and painting. We're so incredibly proud of her. Ava graduated with an undergraduate and a master's degree. My husband and I flew to her city for both graduations. Susie couldn't come to Ava's master's graduation because she said she couldn't take the time off work. She hasn't taken time off work the entire year, so I'm kind of doubtful that she would be denied time off, but I didn't push the issue. I figured she didn't want to go. Anyway, my husband and I went and we took loads of pictures, some of which I posted on Facebook. A lot of my friends and family were commenting on the post, congratulating Ava and wishing her well. I got a call from Susie about 30 minutes after I posted it, asking if I could delete it. I asked her why and she couldn't initially give me a reason. I said I'm not deleting it without a good reason since all I did was post about Ava's graduation. She said if I keep posting about Ava's achievements and none of hers, she's gonna look like a failure to everyone and they're all gonna wonder why Ava has done so well in life and she hasn't. I said I don't post about her because she doesn't ever want me to. I once wanted to post the very first big canvas she painted on Facebook, and she asked me not to because she thought it wasn't something good enough to post or be proud of in comparison to what other people her age are achieving. I always try to assure her that we're proud of her, and how far she's come is something she should also be proud of herself for. But she still doesn't ever want me to post anything about her on Facebook, so I don't. I told Susie that her feelings are valid, but Ava deserves to be celebrated, and that maybe she can talk about her feelings about this whole thing with her therapist, and find a way to cope, because living like this isn't fair to either of them. I said I wanted to post about her achievements too, and how proud I am of her, but she won't let me, and that doesn't mean I shouldn't do it for Ava either. I was going to ask Ava whether she minds if I take it down, but honestly, I think Susie needs to deal with this problem with her therapist instead of forbidding us to celebrate Ava on social media. I don't want her to continue living like this, and I don't think my conceding this time will be helpful to either of my daughters in the long run. Susie said it shouldn't be this hard for me to do something so minor that it would make her feel better. I don't know if I'm being completely awful or if I have it right. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, you did nothing wrong. Susie can't have it both ways. She can't tell you that she doesn't want you to post things about her and then wonder if not posting things will make her look like a loser. Taking the pictures down would not make Susie feel better. Her unhappiness is far deeper and self-related. This is so important. Susie is externalizing her pain. She's projecting it onto you and something you did rather than accepting that it's about her and how she feels about herself and her life. Minimizing Ava's accomplishments to make Susie feel